Hello, this is a lab, packet tracer lab, and this lab it's a point-to-point single area OSPF version uh, version 2. So uh, we're going to look at the configurations, how to configure point-to-point OSPF version 2. So this is the summary of addressing table. As you can see, we have three routers: router 1, router 2, router 3. And then the PCs, where we have PC1, PC2, PC3. All the addresses are documented. The network addresses, IP addresses, together with the subnet mask. So what's the objective of this lab? Part 1, we're going to configure router ID. Part 2, we're going to configure networks for OSPF routing. Part 3, configure passive interfaces, then verify OSPF configuration. So as we're doing the configurations, we're trying to go through all these 4 parts. We have the completion status here. We have to make sure that at the end it is 100. So part 1, we're going to configure the router ID. Configure the router IDs. So we're going to start the OSPF routing process on all the 3 routers using process ID. So on every router, this is what we're going to do. Router ID. Let me use a notepad here. So the router ID, this is the command to be used, router OSPF 10, and then the command that we need is router ID. So we're going to use on router 1, it's going to be 111 like that. So on all the routers, but on router, of course, respectively. So on router 1, we're going to use 11. On router 2, we're going to use 22. On router 3, we're going to use 3, 3. So this is on router 1. So I'm going to so router OSPF. And go to router 2, do the same. And the last one, which is the switch, sorry, the router 3, enable, then configure terminal. So if in case this error shows up, control shift, then 6. If it fails, then just give it time, like a minute. And as you're reading through this, then use the following command, router ID. Yes, that is what we've been doing. As you can see, we have so far 11 before configuring the third one. Part 2, we're going to configure networks for OSPF routing. Step 1, configure networks for OSPF routing using network command, and then the wildcard mask. So here the syntax: network, and then the network address, the wildcard, and then the area ID. Since this is a single area, we're going to use area 0. So we're going to configure our routing process on router 1 with the network statement and wildcard mask that are required to activate OSPF routing on all attached networks. So the network statement values should be network or subnet addresses of the configured network. Then verify that OSPF has been configured. Step number 2, configure OSPF routing using interface and then code 0 subnet mask. So on router 2, this is now on router 2, this was on router 1. Router 1. So verify that has been configured properly by displaying the running configuration. If find an error, then delete the network statement using no command and then reconfigure it. Reconfigure it. So on other one here, the LAN attached to router 1 has 24/24 mask. What is equivalent submask dotted here? What is the dotted decimal equivalent to this? And then subtract. Okay. So in other words, on router 1, let me first complete this. Sorry, this is 3, not 2. Okay, so on router 1, so this is the configuration that you're going to use. Oh, sorry. On router 1, we have this network here, and then this other one. So the first one, it's network. I'll start with the LAN, where we have 192.168, then .10.0/24. So the wildcard mask, it's 00, then 255 area 0. Press enter. Then we have the second one, which is a 3 here. The wildcard mask, it's a 3. And then the address, it's 1. And it's 10. So it's 10.1.1.0, then wildcard mask 00, then area 0. So press enter. Then we have this other one, which is a 4. This is a point-to-point network, like that. So we're done with that. Now we're going to go back to instructions, they're saying we verify that OSPF has been configured properly by the display by displaying the running configuration on router and see. If you want to do that, all you need is just to run the command show running config like that, and then we look for that. Do we have it? Yes, that it's here, router, OSPF, and blah blah, all this, all this. Okay, so let's go back to the configuration. Step number 2, configure networks for OSPF routing using interface IP address, and then code 0 mask. Code 0 mask. So on R2, configure OSPF using network command using IP address of the interface, or the interface is called this. The syntax of the network command is the same as was used. So on R2, so on router 2, so we're going to go to global configuration mode, then the router, the OSPF mode, which was 10, and then we have network. This time we need the addresses. So the exact addresses of this point, this and then this one here. So we're not going to guess. Let's just find out first. Use this command do show IP interface, then brief. So we have a 2. What we have here? We have a 2 and then 9. So it's network 10.1.1.9. Then the wildcard mask, they are saying we use code 0 like that. Then area 0. So we have a 2. Like that. Then lastly, because it's a LAN, where we have the LAN here, we cannot use that for quadrant 0. We have to use something different. So on this, it's a block. We have to use the subnet mask. That means a block. So it's a network 192.168.20.0. The wildcard mask, which is 000, then .255 area 0, like that. Is something wrong? So I need to like that. Okay. Then when it comes to router 3, we're going to use different configuration. So here it's enable. Still we have to go to OSPF mode, which is router OSPF 10, and then network. Sorry, before network, already we have this, it's enabled. I don't need to go all this far, but let me run this command to verify the interfaces. Still with do show IP interface, then brief. So the interfaces that are active, I have gigabit Ethernet. I will start with that, G0/0/0, which is this. And then I use IP OSPF 10 area 0. Then I have another one which is this serial 0/1/0 0/1/0, like that, 0/1/0, yes, like that. And then add this statement, go back. We have 1 now, which is this. Press enter and do the same. So as you can see, after running that, we are seeing the adjacent, or meaning that router 3 is seeing the neighbor where we have 2, 2, and it's on router 2. And then the other neighbor, which is 1, 1, which is router 1. So that is what we have reached. As you can see, the completion status, it's 83. We need to go back to the the instructions and then try to look at the list, what we requested or what is required to do next. So part 3, configure passive interfaces. Are you going to configure passive interfaces? The statement it's, and it has to be under OSPF mode. Under OSPF mode. So we're going to do this, and the passive, it has to be, as you can see, the passive interfaces, they have to be LAN interfaces. So we need to look for LAN interfaces on all the routers. And I'm going to tell the LAN interface, as you can see, this link, it's connected to gigabit Ethernet. So this is a LAN. This is a LAN, this is a LAN. The one in between, these are point to point. We cannot put them into passive mode. Because if you do that, then automatically the routers, they want to be able to exchange the OSPF packets or OSPF messages. So we don't want OSPF messages on the LAN interfaces. That's the reason why we need them. Okay. So I'm going to go to router 1 and do the needful here, enable. Then configure terminal. The other one is gigabit Ethernet 000. Just use the assumption. Let me not use the assumption or assume. Let me run this command. So if you want to assume, just use this command, show IP interface, then brief. So with this command, you will be able to tell the interface that is used. So as you can see, it's giga. My assumption was not wrong. So it's gigabit Ethernet 00. So I will close and go to global configuration mode, and then go to the OSPF mode. Is 10. That is where we're supposed to run the passive interface, then giga 0 0 0, like that. Press enter. So you go to this other router, we do the same. We are still in the OSPF mode, so I'll just say passive interface, which is giga 0 0 0. Press enter. Then go to the last one, which is this. I need to exit. Even if I don't exit, I can run this router OSPF, then 10, and put my passive statement G0, 0, 0. So you don't need to guess, you need to first verify by running the other command, show IP interface brief, so that you get to know the the exact LAN interfaces. So far I would say we're successful. What tells us that we're successful? The completion, it's 100. So we've managed to configure all the guidelines or the instructions required us to do. So that marks the end of this lab.